brighten up those already bright mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Mornings at the Cabin. On a Monday morning, it's chilly, but it's warm inside by the hearth. We're roasting up a chicken for breakfast. You smell that? That's the time.
That doesn't smell like chicken.
Oh. Well, the dog's in here, too. Mornings at the Cabin. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter with you on your Monday morning. Good day. I hope you all had a restful weekend. None of us did, but that's fine. What'd you do this weekend, Lekter?
Rested.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
Very restful.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, that's nice.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Watched your show.
Oh, yeah. You came to the show on Friday.
I guess that was before the
You were
weekend.
the only one of our friends that came.
I hope I made enough noise.
We had a good time on Friday night, didn't we, Ollie?
Had a wonderful time.
Yes.
Didn't see the audience. It was great.
No, it was wonderful. When
The
you can't
lights
see
are
the
so
audience.
bright.
That's right. When you can just hear them responding. I was, people came up to me all weekend and said what a fantastic job we did. I was getting text messages and stuff like that, which is nice, which is beautiful.
Nobody said a word to me.
No one said a word to you. Everybody telling me how cool my mom is. I know. I get it. All right. I've been hearing that my entire life. I did thank some other people for coming again, and they were like, it wasn't what I expected, but it was good. And I'm like, all right. But I don't know that people knew what to expect. I think they were expecting maybe a play, but what we did was kind of an informal podcast, which worked out just beautiful.
So I say, did you know what to expect? Because I didn't know.
I didn't know what to expect either.
Cliff Cardinal went up first to do his act. He was like, "Oh, I won't give away any spoilers about what's coming up with those guys later on." And I was like, "Cliff, please give me some spoilers. I'm the one supposed to be in charge of running the thing."
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Mornings at the Cabin. Wheeler, Ollie, Lekter with you. Ollie's in the other room. He has not joined us, but that's fine. Ollie and I participated in the Coke Spoken Word Festival this past weekend with my mother. It actually started out as, you've heard us talk about it. It actually started out as like just stories about my mother and how we kind of wanted to present them. And Marie Coder, executive director, suggested like a mother and sons type of thing. And then bringing in Ollie was also her idea, which is wonderful. And we kind of did this informal kind of podcast where my mother would talk story about her time here, and Ollie would kind of ask questions of us, and we'd kind of speak about our experience here, which was really wonderful to hear some more stories from my mom, because even on Friday night, there was some stuff that I had forgotten that she talked about, and then it actually spurred in me in the moment some things that were really responded to well, especially the one where she found a young lady in my closet 1 o'clock in the morning one morning after I was making tater tots, and that was what tipped her off. And I was like, I've made tater tots before. She's like, not this many. So
you seem to enjoy that one a bit more than the long fingers.
The long fingers and whatever
gold.
else I had to put my headphones on for. Like, Yeah, and that's the thing about having stories, especially in the public. I mean, when your mother tells stories about you, like in company, when company's over, and it's just kind of embarrassing. It's another thing when it's in front of a live audience of over 100 people.
That was a big dinner party.
It was great. It was great. Yes, a big old dinner party. And we had such an amazing time. Thank you to everyone who came out to see us, but also to see Cliff Cardinal, who was incredible. Really, really enjoyed his stories, his poetry, and his song, which he got everyone to kind of sing along with. That was really wonderful. And I had not made the connection before the show that he is Tantu Cardinal's son, and she is a legendary actor in Canada, starred in Dances with Wolves. Right next to Graham Greene. She was paired up with him in that movie, and she's a wonderful, wonderful actor, very powerful performer and advocate in this country, and has been around for decades. So that was very cool to see, and his stories were incredible and harrowing as these stories that we share usually are. So yeah, we had a great time, and Ollie, thank you very much as well for being a part of it.
Didn't have to do much. Sat there and put my head in my hand
and turn your mic on.
Two said ridiculous things.
Pretty much, yeah. And then, of course, she pulled out,
No, you can't.
I can't?
No.
I could say Oscar.
No, you can say Oscar.
I pulled out Oscar.
That was a nice cameo appearance.
That was.
I was happy to see Oscar.
Oscar makes an appearance pretty much any chance she gets.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know who Oscar is, well, maybe you can find out later. What we do want to figure out is that, and what I forgot to ask before I left, is whether or not they recorded it. So I mean, it's not our property. So if they did record it, we would have to ask permission for them. And I would love to have it play out maybe one night here.
Yeah, if they got it, it'd be great.
Yeah. If they don't, too bad.
We'll
you
do
weren't
it
there.
again.
That's right. We'll do it again. It'll be completely different. And what was so wonderful about it is that the night before we had gotten together, we talked for about 20 minutes. And then we kind of stopped and we're like, no, let's save this because we were discovering things as we were talking in those 20 minutes. And we discovered things on the night, which I thought was really cool. And I thought was more effective than, say, having everything written down and just kind of like performing a rehearsed thing. Because then you can't capture those moments where, like, I'm incredibly embarrassed by my mother talking about my long fingers or other things.
There were definitely 3 or 4 moments on the night where things were said out loud that I could not have anticipated. And I think some people were asking me afterwards, like, you must have known that all this stuff was coming. Like,
Nope.
Not really.
Nope.
I had a vague idea that there'd probably be a good story there, but no. Did not see it going the way that went. That's why I was crying on the table.
Yeah. There was a couple times while watching that, the whole show was very much in the format of what we're doing right now, except people could see us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could see you three, rather. And there was a couple times where, where the stories went to a place where it was just like, oh, that's pretty awkward. I don't know if I have much more to say about that. I was just like, I wonder how badly they want to throw to a song right now. just to get out of this and figure out where else they want to go.
And it would have been a great line, too. It's like, let's just go to a song. Wait, what? We can't. All right. Fair enough. I guess I'll just sit here.
You guys did a great job, though. There wasn't really... I didn't feel like there was really a moment of where the momentum seemed like it had ceased. It actually flowed really well for something that was just, like 3 people just basically sitting down, having a conversation in front of a live audience. It was... I was terrified for you. I'll say that.
It's something that... I think it's something that we talked about when we first started talking about this radio station, having nights like that or just having podcasts like that. But what Ollie and I were talking about and what Ollie's really excited about is the possibility of doing something like that with an evening of music and bands and storytellers and just having a whole night of it at NAC. And, we went so far as to find out just how much NAC costs to rent out for an evening. And I think that's something we'll have to keep talking about and keep developing because I think it's a great idea. I think we could put that together and have a really good time with it.
What he's saying is, how you were really terrified for us? Well, now it's your job.
Now it's your turn. Yeah.
But then I can throw to a song. It's great.
Yeah, no. Not on the stage, though.
Yeah, we can. It could be like...
I guess you could,
It could be like Letterman, and we'll just be over on the one side.
Right.
Like, and now a song from the house band.
Yeah, take it away. Oh, you're not ready? I can't work with these people.
It'll be back in 7 minutes.
Now, that would actually be really incredible. Just kind of have the set off to the side and then have a band off to the side and just be like, here we are with Leela Gilday or whoever else would want to be a part of that. That would be great.
If all else fails, I feel like Ollie, over the course of the night, mastered the fill in the gaps with some cheap pops from the crowd.
That's right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Is everyone having fun tonight?
How does everybody feel about this? Yeah! All right.
We're having fun. Are you having fun?
Gail just kind of called you all losers. How's that going down?
No. She was saying that her friend said that.
That's right.
My mother loves it here, made her life here. Her friend, who she moved up here with, left after a summer and was like, I hate this place. It's full of losers.
How you feeling out there, you bunch of losers?
To which everyone in the crowd was like, ha, 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 ha. So, they were all in on the joke.
Oh, we all know.
That's right. We all know. Yeah, that's right. It's full of recluses, losers, and has-beens. That's right. Now, we had a fantastic time. Thanks again to NAC and to Marie Coder and to Cliff Cardinal. What a wonderful night. And hopefully we have a recording of it, and we will play it out at some point.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Over the weekend, I don't know if you subscribe or have liked Free Art YK on Instagram, but it is a fantastic page. I still have no idea who it is. Ollie knows. I can tell by his face. And I'm sure some other people know as well. Maybe I'm the last to not know.
No.
Ollie, I have an idea of who it is, though.
I don't even have Instagram, so I'm way behind you.
Yeah, fair enough. I have a pretty good idea. So, if you don't know, Free Art YK is an artist, or artists, perhaps, that do wood-burning work, and we've got one of their pieces up on the door. They made us one, a Welcome to the Cabin one. That's why that and a couple other hints make me pretty confident I know who it is. But anyway, I will not say a damn thing, and I will not even let you know my guess. So, every week... or most weeks, this artist will put out one of their pieces. And the whole idea behind Free Art YK is that it's free. They do all the work. They put it out there in the city somewhere. They post it, and you have to go find it. Well, for weeks, I have been trying. Weeks and weeks and weeks. And a couple weeks ago, I came within minutes of finding it right by Jackfish Hill. Within minutes. I saw the tire tracks. I saw the footprints, and I was like, I was right there. I almost had it. And, I mean, some are, like, they're all very, very cool. Some are, like, that one speaks to me a little bit more than others, but I always just wanted one. Literally any of them I would have been happy to take. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, I got one. I finally got one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was at Parker Park, and I managed to get there first, and it was the Joker one, the new Joker one. So Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. The poster of basically like the angle up at his face and with his clown makeup on. It looks awesome.
So what was the picture? How did you know it was Parker? There was no helicopter telling you it was Parker.
No helicopter.
No snazzy jacket.
No.
No, I was actually, so when they post, they'll post the work, right?
Right.
And then they'll post in the comments what time they're going to drop it and what day.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it said 1:00 Sunday. So I was out driving around with the pup. So I knew it was coming. Mm-hmm. I knew it was coming. So I was over at Fred Henny walking the pup, and I looked at the post. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually here. It's actually at Fred Henny. And so I ran over to where I thought it was at Fred Henny. It wasn't there. So I looked again, and I thought about it. And I remember seeing the spray paint on the back of the sign as we pulled into Parker Park. There's spray paint just red, and it looks like an S and a K and an L or something like that.
Okay.
And so that was in the picture, and I was like, I know where that is. And I drove calmly over to the other side.
In an orderly fashion.
And I managed to get there before anyone else did.
Well done.
Yeah.
Did you see any other treasure hunters out there?
No, but here's the thing. So I was coming down the trail, and I saw a woman coming towards where I knew it was with a dog, and I was just kind of like walking, and then I sped my walk up.
So you pushed her to the ground.
I pushed her to the ground. I kicked her dog in the face, and I grabbed it, and I spit on her, and I said, "Don't take my art." No, she didn't know what was going on. She just walked past me. Was like, hello, hello. And I immediately walked past her, picked it up, and then immediately was like, yes. Didn't say anything, really. I didn't, like, exult. But I turned around and started, like, walking right behind her again. And I was like, I kept on looking at the thing because if she turns around and I'm looking at something, maybe she won't think I just turned around to follow her on the trail.
Or she'll think, oh, he's acquired a weapon.
That's it. Oh, look at that. He's acquired something.
Well, he already pushed me to the ground. I suppose he's going to bash me in the head with this.
That's right.
So what he did to
why isn't my dog reacting to this?
So what he did to the porta potty over there at Parker Park, this guy's capable of anything.
That's right.
Did you take a look at what's the status of the porta potty while you're down?
You know what? I was too distracted by the fact that I finally got one of these things that I didn't even care.
That's fair.
And it is pretty dearly departed, that porta potty.
Yeah.
All visual evidence suggests that thing has evaporated.
Has it been scraped up from the lot?
Someone with a big spatula.
Yeah, exactly. A snow shovel.
Literally pry it off the ground.
So I'm very happy about that. So if you're on Instagram, like Free Art YK, most weeks they will do a little bit of work and then just put it out there as a gift, and it just makes this town just a little bit more awesome to live in, a little bit more whimsical. Reminds me of I can't remember the artist's name off the top of my head, but would like placed umbrellas all over the side of the hills on the Pacific Coast Highway just to make the world a little bit more magical.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just putting stuff out there to make you go, look at that.
That
nice.
is exactly what my reaction would be.
Yeah. What do you know? Look at that.
All right.
Until I think some of them blew away and hit a car. But still, a magical, magical place.
Scenes on the cabin.
Major, I don't mean to be rude, but the four of us are very good friends, and the four of us haven't seen each other in quite a while, so... Major, I'm afraid you are intruding.
I beg to differ, Captain. It's only if the Fraulein considers my presence an intrusion that I become the intruder. How about it, Fraulein? Am I intruding?
Of course not, Major.
I didn't think so. It's simply the young captain is immune to my charms. The table's not sure what to do. Is this a confrontation? I'm just joking. Come on. Of course I'm intruding. Allow me to refill your glasses, gentlemen. I will bid you and the Fraulein adieu. Eric has a bottle of the 33-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey from the Scottish Highlands. What do you say, gentlemen?
Oh, you're most gracious, sir.
Eric, the 33 and new glasses. You don't want to contaminate the 33 with the swill you were drinking.
How many glasses?
5 glasses.
Not me. I like Scotch. Scotch doesn't like me.
Nor I. I'll stay with the bubbly.
3 glasses.
To 1,000-year Reich. Did you hear that? That's the sound of my Luger pointed right at your testicles.
Scenes from the cabin.
Know the movie? Submit your guess to mailbox@cabinradio.ca or send us a message on Facebook for your chance to win gift certificates to some awesome Yellowknife restaurants, including Zehabesha, the Monkey Tree Pub, the Woodyard Eatery, Copper House Restaurant, and Javaroma. Listen to Cabin Radio every weekday to win, or download the Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
A little sad news to pass along this morning. Sid Haig passed away over the weekend. You may know him as Captain Spaulding from the Devil's Rejects trilogy. Started with House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, and the latest one, I can't remember. But all movies directed by Rob Zombie, and they're actually like, okay, the thing about House of a Thousand Corpses is that it is a friggin' hot mess of a movie. But there's a lot of really cool things about it, and he just kind of created this really iconic character. He used to start in like exploitation movies back in the 60s and 70s, and then had a career resurgence in 2001 with House of a Thousand Corpses,
right? Which
Rob Zombie then turned into a trilogy, which actually turned out to be a fairly successful trilogy. So he passed away after a long illness, and so that's a little sad. I really liked him as an actor and as a character actor for sure. This weekend, or yesterday, the Emmys were handed out, and a lot of controversy, or controversy, as Ollie would say.
Oh, no.
Game of Thrones won Best Drama Series, which I feel it's won it 4 times.
Yeah.
Right? And usually if it hadn't won it, and it won it its last season, it's like, here's your cumulative Emmy. But it won for what is arguably its worst season, and a lot of people were pretty upset about that.
Goes to show, even on its worst day,
right?
It's still the best show out there.
Still the best show. I mean, it was up against Better Call Saul, Bodyguard, which I thought was fantastic, which also starred a Game of Thrones alum.
Okay.
Killing Eve, Ozark's fantastic, Succession, Pose, which won for Best Actor in a Comedy Series. First openly gay black actor to win a comedy Emmy, and also for This Is Us, which is quite honestly the worst show I've ever seen in my life.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, okay, not the worst.
Whoa.
It's the worst, most prestigious show.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I've
the
seen
worst popular.
I've seen worse shows, but for whatever, like, I can't wrap my mind around why this show it's so manipulative. And I looked up this word because I knew I was using it right. Maudlin, which is like just like overly sentimental and manipulative.
Right.
Best comedy series. I was hoping for Barry, but went to Fleabag, which is like just taking over the world right now.
I've never even heard of this show.
Yes, and it was based on a one-woman show by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And did it start on the West End, Ollie?
I don't know about the show. I've only ever seen the TV show.
Okay,
didn't know about
it started as a one-woman show, and now become a TV show, which she won for best lead actor in a comedy series, or best lead actress in a comedy series, and the show won best comedy series over Barry, which won last year, and also won over The Marvelous Miss Maisel, which got a bunch of other awards. So it's something you should definitely check out. Okay. It's on Amazon Prime. I've been meaning to check it out. But Barry, you should always check out. Fantastic show.
I think I'm about 4 for 9 on knowing the shows that you've mentioned right now, like knowing they exist.
Barry is the Billy Hader. The Bill Hader show on HBO. So he plays an ex-Army Ranger turned assassin for hire who starts taking acting classes. It's like black comedy as dark as it gets.
Yeah. He's a Saturday Night Live alumni.
A fantastic.
He's been in a bunch of movies that came out since that time.
He was in the new.
You would know him if you saw him for sure.
Yeah, he was in the new bit. Russian Doll, also comedy series. But Schitt's Creek is the big story. They were up for 4 Emmys.
Oh,
they
wow.
didn't win, but Schitt's Creek was up for best comedy series.
Holy.
Absolutely.
Good for them.
Absolutely. It was a fantastic show. Have you guys checked out Schitt's Creek at
all?
Still
haven't.
It's
still mean to.
It's wonderful. It really is. It's really well done.
Yeah.
And, of course, Yellowknife for Dustin Milligan in all of it, pretty much.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. So some good Emmy stuff going on. Chernobyl. Did you guys check out Chernobyl?
Not yet.
Why am I even talking about
stuff to do?
So do I. I make time.
There's just so many shows.
Oh, it's ridiculous. We are like truly in the golden age of television where there's so many shows to watch, and so many, and because there's so many companies starting their own streaming services and just investing so much money into these things. Netflix famously boring $20 billion to create its own content, and Amazon very much doing the same thing and creating shows that may have been on the back burner for a while or may have not been created in the old system are now being created, and the TV is off the charts.
And so there's like half a century's worth of this now available for me to choose at any one period of time whenever I get home on Netflix. Why am I going to choose to watch a show about everybody dying in a nuclear fallout?
Because it's wonderful.
That's the last thing. At the end of a long day, at the end of a long day, you come in home and you just put your feet up. You're like, how am I going to unwind? I know what. I've got to watch Chernobyl.
Yeah. So what's so like? It's so incredibly well acted, well written, well shot. Everything is incredible about this show. It's the tension that it builds, obviously, because it's of course it's one of the worst nuclear disasters of all time. But there's the music is incredible because it's just kind of this. For a lot of it, it's this like low rumble, that note that you can hit that actually causes dread within people.
I don't want the dread to be caused within me. I've had a long day at work.
No, absolutely.
I've got a pizza in front of me on the table, some ice cream in the freezer. I can't wait. Let's put on something good. Wait, this is inspiring dread.
Sounds like you could use a little balance in your life, Ollie. Ice cream, pizza, things are great.
I just finished 12 interviews with MLA candidates in which a lot of the answers were the same.
Yeah, and a lot of those inspired dread as well.
There's a low hum in the background.
That's that low hum that's just making me really anxious all the time. So yes, there's tons of TV out there to watch. That's crazy. But Bill Hader did win for Best Actor in a Comedy Series. He is absolutely wonderful in that. And then what other notable things? Let's see. Michelle Williams won one, and Saturday Night Live won for Best Variety Sketch Series. I'm not sure who. Give it to
you know what? That was actually one part that I saw of the Emmys last night, and I'm glad I caught it because so they went up and Lorne Michaels basically explained the episode that they submitted for this award was the Adam Sandler hosted one. Yeah. And he talked about how he did the whole Chris Farley tribute in the middle and how it was just like a really, really emotional thing for everyone. And it was just like, okay, if I had any hesitations about that, like that was a fantastic episode.
Sorry, what's the award title?
Oh, that one's for Variety Sketch Series.
Who are there any others?
Who is America, which was this Sacha Baron Cohen one.
Never
I Love You, America with Sarah Silverman.
Never
Drunk History, which you have heard of. And At Home with Amy Sedaris. And documentary now. So, yeah.
So it's the only one anyone's ever heard
Pretty
of.
much. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, but for supporting actress in a drama series, this one's notable just because, Game of Thrones had 32 nominations or something.
Right.
4 of them were for supporting actress in a drama series. Gwendolyn Christie, Lena Headey, Sophie Turner, Maisie Williams. The reason I was so surprised that Lena Headey was in there because she is a lead actress in that show. Yeah. She is not a supporting actress in that show. Neither is Maisie Williams or Sophie Turner, really. They're all leads. I feel like Gwendolyn Christie is the supporting actor out of those 4. Anyway, 4 out of 6 of those nominations were Game of Thrones. None of them won. Julie Garner of Ozark won.
And Game of Thrones fans are
just livid. Because it was Daenerys. It was Emilia Clarke who's the lead actress in a drama series,
right?
Not Lena Headey, which doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Although in the last season, I suppose it does. So there you go. But Peter Dinklage won for Best Supporting Actor.
They're just never happy.
No, why would you be?
Why would you be happy?
Why would anybody be happy being on one of the most successful TV shows
it's that music that inspires dread in the back of their minds.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, if they had just listened to the fans and remade the entire last season, they probably would have swept the Emmys.
That's right.
Yeah. Just listen to your fans.
That's right. Listen to your fans. The Emmys.
It's terrible advice. Don't ever listen to your fans.
Don't write in. We're not going to listen to you.
The Emmys. Conversation piece for the morning show. Most people don't care.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter with you on your Monday morning. That's right. You are the furthest away from the weekend that you possibly could be. But we'll be here every morning with you. Just kind of lulling you into a haze before you go to work. And then you're on for a nooner. Ollie, you wrote something up on the board. It just says record players. Now, what do you have against record players?
Oh, I love them.
Oh, okay.
Because clearly this is a negative connotation.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the E is all kind of out of whack. It looks like it's written in haste.
It's a little frowny face beside it.
Yeah, what's up with that? So what do you want to talk about record players for?
Love your introductions whenever I write a topic.
Well, you just... I don't know.
The effort is
I don't know what you want to talk
overwhelming.
about.
One moment while I fan myself with the sheer quality of your radio introduction
Oh,
to
my
this
God. Oh, God. Just introduce your bit.
bit.
Ugh.
Oh, here we go. Morning, everybody. It's Ollie here. I have a bit. They've allowed me a bit. And in my bit that I've been allowed. And that
Okay, and that'll do
That'll
it for
do
this
it
morning.
for Ollie. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Beautiful show this morning. I love it. I love it when you come by. It's so much fun. This is a much better introduction than the one I gave it, which was, "Hey, Ollie, didn't you want to talk about record players?"
All right, carry on.
Yeah, we're good.
When Ollie's not in the room, everybody should be asking, "Where's Ollie?"
I mean, we literally are.
So
Ollie?
confused.
Doing that, Ollie?
Go
Just,
ahead.
it's
Go
our
ahead.
Simpsons reference for the day.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you both strike me as hipster geeks. Presumably you love record players.
I am definitely not a hipster.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not even dressed well.
He's a chameleon. We've talked about
That's
this
right.
before.
That's
If Jesse needed to be a hipster for some reason, he would pull it off effortlessly.
Probably. I grow a wispy mustache and only drink Pabst Blue Ribbon
There you
or
go.
something.
Yeah,
or just
that's
ask
all right.
how many hops are in this beer. Or what kind of IPAs do you have on tap?
What's the IBU level of this beer, would you say?
Yeah, I would say shut up and drink the beer.
What has the International Biathlon Union got to do with beer is what I would ask.
Everything, Ollie.
Yeah, that's
Everything.
right. They shoot from the hip. So record players, yes, okay, obviously, so vinyl has come back in a major way. It actually outsold CDs last year. It actually
it
outsold
outsold
CDs.
CDs.
Okay, but yeah, no one's buying CDs.
Three
anymore.
people bought CDs.
All right. MP3s obviously are the MP3s and MP4s because Apple just has to be different. Are pretty much the main thrust of the music industry now. But MP3s
Streaming
and
is the main
MP4s, streaming, but they're streaming MP3. They're not streaming records. They're not streaming a recording of a record. They're streaming an MP3 or an MP4. That's what they're streaming. Or what are they streaming?
You gave a format.
Okay, but there's a different format. But the format is digitized. It's compressed.
Yeah.
They cut off the high and the cut off the high and the low to make room for the file. So compressed
They did
files
what?
cut off the high and the end, the high end and the low end.
All right.
This is, from my understanding, this is how MP3. You compress the damn thing, you flatten out the ends, and you cut off the ends. So you don't get the full range of what they were trying to capture in the studio, which records can do.
I wonder if anyone has ever done a blind test and played the same track twice in a row to somebody and said, pick
Absolutely
which one is which.
I can imagine some people can.
Yeah, the one with the hissing and the scratching will be from the record player.
Well, and not if you take care of your records, Ollie. God, this guy comes in with an agenda, right? So you don't like record players. That's why we're talking about this.
Such a contrived nostalgia.
It is a bit. It is a bit of a contrived nostalgia. Absolutely, it is. And it's. I mean, it is wasteful as well. I mean, we're just compressing more plastics and things like that. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, if we get to MP3s and MP4s, streaming does take up a lot of power. There's a big carbon footprint when it comes to computer power and computing and things like that. However, creating physical media is something we have been moving away from until this year, and vinyl has outsold CDs, which CDs still sell in the millions, which is insane to me because vehicles don't even come with CD players anymore for the most part.
See, now they were the best quality. I miss
I
CD.
don't think so.
I loved CD.
Records sound better.
Yeah.
They do, because they're not. Yeah, because they have all the information compressed into the record. Whereas
Compressed, you say?
compressed physically into the records, but the MP3s have a different sound quality. They're a little. But I mean, I for me, I don't think I could probably tell the difference, unless maybe I had one of these set of headphones on, plugged into a record player, and then plugged into, say, like an iPod. I could probably tell the difference. But I mean, I don't know. I think there are sound files or audio files out there who could definitely tell the difference.
Well, the files themselves would be able to tell the difference, yeah.
Yes.
I'm an MP3.
Good Lord. PH files, Ollie. PH. What brings us up is because Sarah bought a record player. Is that right?
She's had it for ages.
Oh, she's had it for ages.
Yeah.
And she
Just had it out last night.
and you
But
two-
it's funny when she's going to or Sarah said, "Oh, you should probably be able to help me with this." I was like, "Listen, just because I'm
is
a
what you do
little
with
bit
record
older
players.
than you, I'd like to point out that I too, Sarah, was well after the time of record players." And they're essentially, to me, as a fax is to communicating with somebody. They're not items I have required in my existence.
Right.
All right, let's just be very clear. When we're dating me, I was post vinyl. Thanks.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
But we're back in that age now. You gotta
Well, no, we're not. Like
he
20
doth
people are in
protest
that
too
age.
much.
get.
But I think records sound. I think records sound great, and I think CDs sound great. MP3s sound how they sound.
Cassettes?
Cassettes. I mean, those have come back too. I took a pic. I was down south last year, and I was at an HMV, which still exists, and they had a whole wall of cassettes.
Yeah.
It said vintage technology, and I was just like, no.
And that is the absolute right. That is the absolute condemnation of this whole trend.
Absolutely, no. That is the peak.
Back.
That's the peak hipster thing. Hipster is no longer a thing anymore. It's kind of gone downhill because it's just now become part of the mainstream. Everything has become part of the mainstream as everything kind of gets amalgamated into one thing. Hipsterism has become that as well. So I mean, when you have like cassettes coming back or 8-tracks, it's like, all right,
there's no reason for
that's
that.
enough.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that.
Next is going to be things like online radio stations, like trying to get an FM license.
Yeah, what the heck? And then MySpace will come back or something.
God willing.
What?
Jeez.
I do kind of miss MySpace.
Need to
It's still
update my
out there.
page.
You probably do you still have a page?
I don't know.
It's on there.
15 years since I've tried to look.
Well, I'm going to have to search for it now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bring back Nexopia as well. And LimeWire.
LimeWire.
There's a whole generation of kids that think that like certain songs are by different artists. Like there's like a Bob Marley tune that's mislabeled or something.
Yeah.
Like LimeWire would just like you just download individual files that would be completely mislabeled.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we thought Dynamite Hack did gin and juice. They didn't. They didn't. They did Boys in the Hood. They covered Boys in the Hood, but they didn't do the cover of Gin and Juice. The country cover.
People
think they did.
There's a whole back catalog of mislabeled Bob Marley tunes as well. Yeah, for sure.
Who'd they say it was though? I couldn't remember who it was. Who was like it was mislabeled as someone else.
Of Bob Marley songs?
Yeah.
There. What's the UB40 song? Red Wine.
Oh yeah,
I guarantee you there's
Wine labeled
so
as
many
Bob
copies
Marley.
of Bob Marley. Red Wine, all because of LimeWire.
and all because it has that little reggae section in the middle. It's like, this must be Bob Marley. Bob Marley.
Reggae. It's Bob Marley.
There we go.
That's right.
Is. Oh.
But getting back to vinyl. I mean, if you ask any audiophile, and if you did a listening equivalent of the Pepsi Coke taste test, and you have a high-quality record player, a high-quality amplifier, and then a CD, with that, again, you don't even need a high-quality amplifier because it's not really going to change the sound of the CD. The vinyl's going to sound better every time.
It will.
It's science, Ollie.
It's science. And it might have hisses and pops, but,
that makes it sound
part of the charm.
worse, surely, if it has hisses.
I suppose.
No,
but I mean, that's
no,
only if you have like a dirty needle or a crappy record.
Don't use dirty needles, kids.
That's right.
If there's one thing you learned from Mornings at the Cabin today, don't use dirty needles
on your vinyl.
Cassettes, though, 100% agree with you. Get that garbage out of here.
Burn them.
Oof.
Can't even find your favorite song.
Nothing like bringing back the worst medium of music for nostalgic purposes.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.